Hey guys, Sambo here, welcome back to Sammy Vostok. Now today we're finally going to be filling in that random little spot that's been just left empty for, I don't know, maybe a few hundred years, but the old town, there's been that random empty spot there, and originally I was going to put in the university campus, but those buildings are really huge, so they don't really fit in with this whole area. Plus this area that we're going to be working on today is actually up on a hill. So we need to do something that kind of makes it blends in with the existing old town area, but I also don't just want to put in more buildings. I want to do something a little bit different, something a little bit unexpected, and make it a kind of like a center point for this area. So let's have a look and get into it. So this is the empty spot over here, lots of space, and yeah, I can't wait for you guys to see how it all turns out. Alright, so like I said, this area, it's going to have something a little bit different because I didn't want to just build more houses and just make it look like all of the existing areas. I wanted to do something a little bit different. So what we're going to do is actually make a little bit of a port area, because like the way that I think of it is like back before we had the whole big Vostok downtown area with all the huge buildings, this would have been the main area. Like this would have been it, you guys. This is where you go. So all of the ships would have been coming in, and there would have been little ports everywhere, lots of boats and ships and cargo and things like that coming in and out. So I think it's realistic to have a lot of these little areas. We do have a little port already at the front area, but I thought let's just do one over this side as well, because why not? So we do have that existing bike path, which we do need to take into consideration as well, which you guys will see. So we'll do more with that in a second. But in terms of the design, the Old Town area, it is very wonky, it's wavy, the houses are squished in, so we need to make sure we continue on with that design. So the road layout is really wavy, and in terms of the buildings, they're going to be very, very squished in. There's also going to be a really big mixture of different architecture styles, different, eras. There's a real big mixture in there, which I quite like. It makes a really interesting appearance for the whole area. And I think the story that we kind of set up for this was that maybe the French colonized the area, then the Russians took over, so that's why there's a lot of French architecture. I don't know. But another thing that I am doing is, you'll notice I moved the houses forward. So back in the old days, they didn't really care about, making space for cars to park out front or things like that. So all of the buildings were really, really close to the roads, and I like it because it makes it feel more compact, and I just like how it's all squished in there. And even though it is annoying to build on an area that isn't flat and to do this type of buildings, it does turn out really, really well, because everything I have to place down myself, and which means I turn everything to make it fit in with the exact angle of the road, and it gives it that impression that I have kind of taken care of it and put some thought into it. And so this here, now I've done this before but no one's really picked up on it, but this is my very 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 bad port area. So what you do is you get the dirt pathway and you basically elevate it, and when you elevate it, it makes this nice boardwalk area, and to me that looks like a nice little port area. And even though they can't actually walk on it, it's not connected to anything, I think it just fits in really, really well. Just plop down some boats and yachts and things like that, and it looks really good, fits in really well with the area. And just in case you guys don't know, when you put the boats down, you have to put them on the land first and then drag them onto the water. Otherwise, if you put them on the water first, then they go right down to the bottom. Now this part right here, I'm actually changing the road. So originally it was just a ordinary road with a pathway over it, but we're actually going to designate the proper bike path road. So I didn't want to connect it to that main road at the top there, just because I think that would kind of disrupt the flow. And the good thing about that road, it's pedestrian friendly, it's bike friendly. The speed limit is very, very slow, so cars are not going to, they won't want to go on it. So I mean, if they have to, they will to get to their house, but generally they won't choose to go through it, and you can actually still build on it. So that's really, really great, and they actually do use it, you guys. They really, really use it. Now, I don't know if this is the right church. Like, I don't know. I don't know. it's probably wrong, I don't know. But I wanted to do some kind of church area because this is the highest point. So generally you will find churches on the highest point of towns. Not always, but it is a common thing. So they're always on the highest point. And I thought, let's just put in some really old, some graves, a little cemetery. I wouldn't want to live next to it. No, I would not want to live next to it, but to try and block it out, I do put in a really large hedge. So that hedge is what, 1.5 meters high, I think. It's pretty high, so you can't really see it if you're on the street. And you know that those gravestones look pretty old. That's where you go to yeah, get haunted there at night. But yeah, I just thought we needed to put that in because first of all, it breaks up the really dense look from all of the buildings. It gives a little bit of green space, even though we don't have green space in this area because green space wasn't really something that they put in back in the old days. It wasn't a priority like it is now. So you'll notice there's no green space, but I wanted to do that grave area just to break up all of the buildings like that. And we can put in all of the houses around it and then also some green space to again just break up the whole dense look, even though I really like the whole big dense look. Yeah, there's a real good mixture of buildings up through there, but it looks so good. And another thing, I always made sure that the roads that I use in this area, they can park on the side of the road. So if they couldn't park on the side of the road, to me that looks odd because I don't know, I just like to see cars parked everywhere. And you'll notice I put in different props and things like that. Some of the props that I put down are actually cars as well to just make it look a little bit more lived in. Yeah, that's why I always use roads that they can park on the side because it just makes it look more realistic. It makes it look more lively and lived in. It looks so much better compared to an empty, boring road. Okay, so in this area here, I'm just putting down some props, but I also want to mention that those buildings on the left there where I'm putting that little prop, those are actually commercial buildings, so they're not all just residential. There's commercial kind of scattered throughout the whole area, but I wanted to make sure that there's commercial right on the port, the front of the port area here, because obviously this is a center area. People are going to come here maybe to, you know, they get off the boat, they want to buy something quickly, so I thought it's good to have those there. And then in terms of schools, there's a lot of schools actually surrounding the whole area, so I didn't put any facilities in this area because, like I said, we have them throughout the whole area already. So really this area is just commercial and residential. And then this is the last bit. I know it's random, but this part right here, it's been bugging me for so long. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Like it's such an awkward space. So what I've come up with is we're actually going to make this a commercial hill. So there's going to be a little hill in the middle, lots of vegetation, a little bit overrun, and then we're going to throw in a whole bunch of big signs, big billboards and things like that, because it's a roundabout. There's going to be lots of cars coming around, and I just thought it's a good spot because we are right near the highway, so cars might come off the highway, they might want to go into the downtown area. And yeah, I mean, I was going to do a big, what's it called, Times Square type area, but I just never got around to it, and I don't think it really fitted in with the whole vibe of the city. So this is probably as close as we're going to get to a Times Square in terms of advertisement, things like that. You do notice a lot of the time in Russian style cities, well, not just Russian, but other ones in Eastern Europe, you'll find these big random signs in the middle of roundabouts, and yeah, I just thought, why not? Let's just throw it in. It's random space anyway. It's not really utilized. So, and I feel like in real life, this is normal. Like if you have a random bit of space like this, why not just throw in some billboards and things like that? Why not? Why not just make it look utilized? And there we go. Just showing you guys a quick look. There we go. Lots of big signs, a little bit overgrown, but I like that look. I put some signs on the side of the buildings as well. We've got this little Chinese restaurant there and things like that. So yeah, fits in really, really well. So let's have a look at the overall image of the whole area. Oh my god, look at that. Doesn't that look good? It's so colorful, it's so windy, it's compact. Ugh, I love it. And you can see all of the huge buildings in the background. it looks good. This looks good here as well. One thing I didn't show you guys is I actually spent probably like 30 minutes adjusting the water heights and adjusting the river because the water was all gushing into the new port area and flooding the old town. Yeah, so I had to completely adjust all of that, but yeah, I'm glad I've done that. It looks really, really good. I wanted the water level to be really up high with the port because obviously if you're getting out of your boat, you don't want to have to climb 3 meters. You want to just step out onto the port area. And here's our little church. You can see that the whole area, there's really not many vehicles at all, and not even many people. And that's kind of why we could get away with changing the roads near the area we worked on today and turning it into a little pedestrian and cyclist pathway, because even though this road is now designated for those two uses, cars don't miss this road because there's really not many cars in the area, and like this here, it's not really causing an issue, so we can get away with doing this. We can probably put in more of these as well. We do have a bike path that goes through that's kind of windy, but I could probably update it more like this, more specific for cyclists, because it does look pretty good. Doesn't that look crazy? Oh my god, I love it. It looks so good. I love doing this, but it just takes so long because like there's just so much that goes into it. It looks good. Oh, I love it. But anyway, I'm going to leave the episode there, you guys. And hope you guys enjoyed. We're getting to the end of Semivostok, and if there's anything else you want me to do, there's still time. We have some little areas left that we need to fill in. One we can see up the top right there, and a few others. But yeah, thanks guys for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.